I just asked these students that those people who made a plan and then they dove in, was it easier? And I had two guys right back here who absolutely said yes. You want to tell your story? Tell loud.
Yeah, at first we just jumped right in and started just randomly starting to try guess and check to make a game, and we couldn't figure out how to do it, so we almost gave up, but we didn't because of Mrs. Britton.
You didn't give up because of Mrs. Britton? What did she do? Did she beat you?
She supported us. Yeah.
Oh.
And then we went and looked at the tutorials and took a little bit of time and we figured it out.
We decided to start with something smaller, like just a simpler game, and then eventually update it or just create a whole new game that is more complex and complicated. Or since we've never used this kind of software and stuff, we just decided to start with something little.
I like that. How many of you had a really great thought of what you wanted to do? I'll give it, okay. Thanks. There's Mrs. Britton being supportive again. Thank you. How many of you had an idea of something that you wanted to do, a great thought in your mind, and found it really hard to do, that you had to step back to something more simple? Yeah. It's kind of like that riding the bike, right? It's like riding the bike. You first had to go with the training wheels, even though you wanted to ride on the mountains and flip back flips and things like that. That you had to get it with the, okay. Anybody want to share their story? Do you mind? Anybody want to share their story? Ah, awesome. Go for it.
Okay. I had, in my opinion, a great idea for like this kind of RPG-ish game.
A role-playing game?
Yeah, role-playing game.
Uh-huh.
And when I got on the game salad thing, I found out, one, that it was 2D, so then I had to decide to make it an aerial view, like floor-plan view, instead of just like like the camera's just following him around.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then I found out that I had no idea what to do at all. So I looked up a tutorial, except they were all like Flappy Bird tutorials. They were nothing like that showed me like what I wanted to do.
Right.
It was all just like how to make a Flappy Bird.
So what did you do
Or-
then?
What did I do?
If your tutorials didn't show you what to do, what'd you do?
I just kind of explored the software,
Uh-huh.
and right now I know a lot of like how to do it. But I still don't know how to like make the game. But I know more about the software, so.
Okay, that's helpful. And that's right. There's a lot of times where we have to spend time exploring. How many of you went out to do interviews with anybody else or how many of you did research by talking to people about your topic? Did anybody? Some people did, right? Did that help or hinder? Talk to me here, Hat Man. What did you do interviews on?
Different kinds of hats and how they failed.
So you were thinking about redoing the hat, the common hat, and so you talked to people about how do hats fail?
Yeah.
So what problems do you need to solve? Nice. Had to find the challenge first, right? Remember? What's the challenge? Nice. Anybody else have a story they want to share? Oh, okay. Tell us.
First I decided I was going to make music, just like pure music, and like put words to the song. Then I decided to make a song and then promote it to STEAMmaker, so I could try to promote other schools to come to this camp next summer or whenever they have this camp. And I made it, and I went in the back and made the words and everything. And it was okay at first, but then I was trying to send it to Ginger, and we were having trouble, so we went back to see the lady back there, and she said she had all this equipment, and it would make my voice sound better with the song and combine with it better. And we did that, and once we did that, the song sounds really cool now. So.
Yep. And you had to fight with that, exporting that, I'm going to say for like 2 hours. How many times did you feel like giving up?
A lot. In fact, I almost did, kind of really did, but then came back to it. So, and yeah.
Persistence beats smarts. every day of the week. What does that mean? Talk to somebody at your table. Persistence beats smart every day of the week. What does that mean?
It means that if they're smart, sometimes, like you said, they'll just like walk away from the wall. But if you have persistence, then you'll keep working at it. You can
It's the ability to stay the course. In fact, perseverance, persistence, same kind of thing on there.
What's your question about persistence?
Well, my stepdad, he's not really my stepdad no more, used to tell me if I had a big problem, I kept going at it and going at it. So finally, I was just aggravated really bad to just walk away from it. Would I go back to it because persistent and smart, or would I just leave it alone?
That's a really great question. Hold tight. Gentlemen and ladies, so my boy here just asked me a question. He said he got advice one time that he had a problem where he was trying to work through it, until finally somebody said, hey, just step away from it. And he said, should I step away or should I stay with it and be persistent? Anybody have advice for this kiddo? Go, Joel.
Step away and think for a bit. And then once you've thought about it for a good deal and you know what to do, then you come back.
Excellent.
What do you say?
I think the persistence is great, like, half the time, but the other half, like, when you've been persisting, and you've just got into that, like, mindless,
Sure.
yeah, once you got into that mindless stuff, stage, you should maybe step back and take a break and allow your mind to do other things for a little bit.
Okay. Do you go back to it eventually?
Yes, like, in about 10 minutes, you definitely go back.
So you say 10 minutes. Joel says a day. Could we maybe come back in a week?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, maybe it depends on the project, depends on what it is, right? Absolutely. Sometimes we all need to take a little mental break. Our brain works in the background, right? And so then a little break is a great way, otherwise frustration sets in. Let your brain recharge, reconnect, and get excited about it again. Absolutely. Thanks for the question, man. I'm going to go ahead and shut this up.